Hi, this is Karen Kubicko, and today we're going to talk about what is telepathy. Telepathy is a really incredibly awesome way to interact and communicate with others. It's definitely the mode of communication to communicate with anyone on the other side. And when you're in spirit, in heaven, on the other side, working with your spirit guides and angels, that is the only form of communication. So learning and understanding what telepathy is will help you connect with those you love on the other side as well. So how do you communicate with telepathy? There's lots of ways. It's really a collection of being able to see in your mind's eye, get a knowing, hear words, maybe feel the energy of, or just kind of feel like something is there. Really, it's using all your intuitive abilities, but knowing that that's coming to you through your third eye. And so it is really just trusting that you're communicating with whoever it is that you're directing your energetic attention to. So, for example, sometimes you might recognize right away that you're having a telepathic communication with somebody when you can finish their sentence. You almost know exactly what they're going to say next. Now, it might be because you know them really well and maybe they've said those things before to you, but you might, out of nowhere, just pick up that they're going to say, "Hey, do you remember that?" And they say, "You mean that thing about this?" And you know exactly what each other are talking about. That is receiving the information exactly on what that other person is trying to talk to you about and knowing exactly where they're coming from. And it might not be part of that conversation that you're currently having. It might be out of left field, if you will, so that it's totally out of the blue that they're bringing this conversation up, but you know exactly what they're talking about without any effort whatsoever. That's using telepathy. Another way that telepathy is very helpful is when your child is an infant. If you are a mom, you understand this because you'll know on some level your child is crying even though they're not in the same room with you and you don't hear them, or they're awake. You just know on some level, or you see a vision of them in their crib awake and you're in the second floor away from them, and you just know on some level something's going on with them and you get alerted because you're getting that telepathic communication with your child. Now, your small baby is fresh from heaven, so their total mode of communication has been telepathy. So when they come into this earthly experience, they're still trying to communicate with you through telepathy that they need a drink or they're tired or whatever the case may be. And it's up to you to decipher, what's exactly going on with them and on some level without them being able to verbally tell you what they need or what's going on with them. So allowing yourself to trust that you're receiving the right information is really important, especially when it's communication with your infant child. Super cool. And hit that like button and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. But when you're trusting your intuitive abilities to use telepathy, you can do all kinds of things. A really long time ago, I came across an article that talked about practicing using telepathy. I was a kid, and it was kind of a new concept of some kind. But what they described is for you to draw a simple image and work with somebody, whether they're in another room or in another home, like it's your friend, your neighbor, or somebody like that. And you would draw something and very intently focus on that at a set aside time without telling them what it is or any kind of idea on what it is that you are going to draw. Something simple, like a flower or a simple house or a mountain scene or something very simple. Could be anything. And then you focus intently on that with the intent, and this is the difference, with the intent of, it's almost like your intent is that information is being directly sent to that person. if you're just willy-nilly sending the information out into the universe, they might not specifically get it as easy. But I have noticed when you're specifically talking to somebody on the other side, for example, your specific attention is talking to them. So you're receiving easily back from them the answer or the information or whatever. So it's no different in this practice of intently drawing something and then comparing notes with your friend at a later time to see if they drew the same thing or they could describe what it is that you drew. That's just one way to practice using telepathy with somebody. It's just fun to do. You can think of a number. I've met people who have on a regular basis, like every Monday at 5 o'clock, they're going to think of something and they take turns, a number, a thing, a whatever, and then they compare notes and then they do it again the following Monday. I mean, it's just reawakening that innate ability for you to communicate through this telepathic way. Now, back to how I began in the beginning of this conversation. You are receiving this information. You might hear words. You might hear phrases. You might hear sounds, music, whatever the case may be. You might hear all kinds of information. That really is a cool way to communicate with your spirit guides. But you might get a vision of something. You could use your telepathy and no different when someone's describing to you maybe an experience walking through a farmer's market and they happen to be just describing to you, I'm walking down this farmer's market, came across someone selling something and looked around it, and maybe you see an image of honey in a cute little jar or something like that. And you can say, oh, did you see some cute little honey? And they can say, oh yeah, I did actually. How did you get that information? You were telepathically seeing, in a sense, that experience that they were describing to you and receiving that information. Even though they didn't express it out loud, you could see what was happening for them. So becoming aware that you are actually getting more information on a telepathic level than you used to or you were aware of. So, and really acknowledging that so that you can utilize that for that whole communication with someone. It's more than body language and words. You're getting telepathic, energetic information as well. So that's really kind of a neat thing. Another way that passed over loved ones show us telepathic communication might be through the sense of smell. So if you are in your home, in your kitchen, in your living room, wherever, and all of a sudden you smell Aunt Josie's perfume that was very distinct for her, or your mother used to bake cookies and then out of nowhere you smell fresh baked chocolate chip cookies. Those are things being given to you through telepathy. Your past over folks are trying to give you that information and you're receiving it on that level. So being open to receive all that kind of interaction with the other side, with your friends, with your child, whomever is in your awareness, and really practicing that will help awake your inner intuitive abilities as well. And stay to the end, I have a link to a guided meditation so that you can visit with one of your past ever loved ones. Lots of love and light to you.